for our new Superman cake batter cookie dough blizzard treat before it's gone. And don't miss Superman, only in theaters July 11th. DQ, happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
This is the legendary WHIO, the king of sports in Ohio. We've got the biggest sports teams and leagues on both radio and TV. This year, we're proud to be the home of NFL with Cincinnati Bengals football on Channel 7. The Southwest Ohio home of the Cleveland Browns on WHIO Radio. The biggest Big Ten games during the season every Saturday, including Ohio State football. The CBS NFL Game of the Week. The home of University of Dayton basketball and football. The Touchdown 7 high school football games of the week. The Dayton home of March Madness, the Masters, and PGA Championship. When it comes to the absolute biggest sports brands, WHIO Radio and Television is the king of Dayton sports. WHIO, Dayton's news, talk, and sports station.
This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
If you love to invest, you need to be really, really cautious who you follow online, what social media you're getting stock tips from. Because unfortunately, a lot of what's going on social media investment space, people trying to manipulate the price of shares in a particular little-known company, whatever it would be, where they buy in at really low prices, pump the price up by getting you to buy in because they're telling you it's the next hot thing on social media. And then once they've made their killing running the price up, they're gone and you're stuck with shares worth a tiny fraction of what you paid. So know that you need to do your own primary research on a company, not just take a hot tip from what you see online, because otherwise you're the one who gets burned.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO. Continues on WHIO.
Will kick it in big log from Robert Plant. Man, you're on it this morning with the music. This is Miami Valley's Morning News. We have good news today. The Bengals and local officials have reached a tentative deal to make $470 million in renovations to Paycor Stadium. They'll keep the team there for at least the next 11 years, and the pictures look like just phenomenal. So congratulations to the Bengals. WHIO News Time 7:25.
Yeah, let's get you right to the impact story here. Petition drive seeking the repeal of a new Ohio law banning diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at public colleges has failed.
Organizers opposing Ohio's new law on higher education policy say they couldn't get the 250,000 signatures needed to get a referendum on November's ballot to overturn it. The measures going into effect banning DEI programs and faculty strikes at Ohio's colleges. It also prohibits schools from endorsing or opposing controversial topics like climate policies, immigration policy, marriage, or abortion. Supporters say it will protect intellectual diversity, including welcoming more conservative voices on campuses. Opponents say it's anti-labor and encroaches on academic freedoms.
That is Fox's Jill Nato reporting. WHIO News Time 7:27.
All right, coming up, we got the big, beautiful bill and the big, beautiful bear around the Miami Valley. Two big, beautiful things happening on our big news stories, and the weather, of course, coming up. WHIO News Time 7:27. Let's check in now. What's happening around the Miami Valley? And Chris Hartley.
The WHIO Weekend Preview with what's happening around the Miami Valley. Here's Chris Hartley.
There'll be a free concert at North Park. That's going to be in Springboro tonight. 22K Magic tributes to Taylor Swift and Bruno Mars going to be performing. This is a free concert. You can bring your own lawn chairs. Food and beer trucks will be available for purchase. Show starts at 7:30. Blues Fest is happening. That's over 11 Pavilion this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday. Show starts at 5:30. It's going to run through 9. Kids Fest is happening. That's over at Fray's. It's going to be on Sunday. Lots of kids activities, live entertainment, magicians, stilt walkers, and jugglers. The fun begins at noon. It's going to run through 5. And Star Spangled Heights is going to be going on over at Thomas Cloud. That's in Huber. There's going to be a parade, car show, festival, and fireworks. The fun begins at 10 a.m. It's going to run through 10 p.m. That's tomorrow. Getting you out into the Miami Valley, I'm Chris Hartley, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
For Good News in Dayton, this is Joe Eckley with Day Air Credit Union. Kettering Cities of Service is making a big impact by turning compassion into action. Kettering Cities of Service focuses on uniting volunteers and community resources to tackle key challenges and improve quality of life for everyone in the city. This program connects residents with opportunities to make a difference, whether it's through helping neighbors in need, supporting local organizations, or even participating in environmental projects like tree planting and park cleanups. By empowering residents to take an active role in their community, Kettering Cities of Service reminds us that together we can build a better, stronger community. And to all the volunteers and supporters of Kettering Cities of Service, thank you. You're good news for Dayton.
Good News in Dayton is sponsored by Grunder Landscaping, Day Air Credit Union, and Wagner Paving. For more information, visit goodnewsindayton.com.
Every day, the amount of pollution in the air is measured on a scale called the Air Quality Index, or AQI. An air quality alert is issued for days when the forecast predicts an AQI over 100. Those with breathing problems should limit outdoor activities on days when an air quality alert is issued. For more information and actions you can take to reduce air pollution, visit miamivalley.air.org or call 937-223-6323.
This is the station Dayton turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. WHIO Dayton Springfield, celebrating 90 years of being Dayton's news and talk station. Depend on it.
Good morning. It's 7:30. I'm Nick Robertson for Larry Hanskin on Miami Valley's Morning News. 3 big things you need to know this morning. President Trump wants the big, beautiful bill passed before the 4th. They got a lot of work ahead. We got a big, beautiful bear in the Miami Valley. This time people are seeing that bear in Clark and Champaign counties. Is it one bear or more? We'll tell you about it coming up. And our top story, the heat wave gripping the Miami Valley continues today. Heat advisory in effect till 8 p.m. tonight. It is going to feel like 100 degrees.
Yeah, Nick, we just can't get a break from this warm weather. Highs reached the low 90s with that heat index near 100, like you said. And looking ahead to the weekend, well, Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz has some important tips to keep you and your family safe.
Remember, as we get through the weekend, I know we have plenty of plans to get out and about. Pay attention to Live Doppler 7. That way you're not getting soaked with rain. Also, make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Drink plenty of water. Limit your time outdoors. The air quality is suffering, plus it's way too hot anyway. No more than 10 to 15 minutes. Check on your pets. Check on your neighbors. They're just as important as you are. Don't walk in the heat of the day. Anywhere between noon and about 4 o'clock is when we'll be peaking into the 90s and feeling like 100 degrees.
Now, stay tuned here. Of course, we're going to have the very latest weather updates for you throughout the day and the entire weekend here on Dayton Severe Weather Station 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
Rain chances are moving in for the weekend, but will it be a washout? I'm Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz. I'll let you know how much rain you can expect through the weekend and when our best chance of rain will be.
Slowing down on northbound 75 due to a car that's broke down in the right lane. It's a little past Wagner Ford Road. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
This is Miami Valley's Morning News, 7:32, and I'm Nick Roberts.
And I'm Jeremy Ratliff. Well, Nick, in Clark County, the heat we've been telling you about, got to a firefighter yesterday.
Got him in trouble for a bit, and they wound up going to the hospital. This was at an arson fire we covered. The city of Springfield owned this empty building. Here on Kenton Street, the fire chief told us the building was vacant, and witnesses saw people run from the building when that fire started. And that firefighter will be okay.
That is News Center 7's James Brown. New information about another black bear sighting here.
Tina Stevens headed to pick up her grandchildren in Clark County Wednesday night when she spotted an animal in the road. She snapped pictures of the young black bear and says she hopes the bear is safe and no one hurts it. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources emphasized black bears are protected under Ohio's endangered species list.
That is WHIO's Rich Jones. ODNR experts telling people to stay far away from the bear. The ODNR cannot confirm if all the bear sightings in the Miami Valley are the same animal. We'll keep you posted on that. A family in Ohio is now home after being caught in the escalating attacks between Israel and Iran.
Shiri Ayalon and her son traveled to Tel Aviv to visit family when a missile struck the same day. The attacks forced Israel to close its airspace and halted their return, leaving them stranded. Their journey back included a bus and taxi ride and multiple flights to get back to Cincinnati.
That is WHIO Sierra Lawson. Meanwhile, we continue to monitor what's happening happening in the Middle East from here in the Miami Valley. Palestinian hospital officials say an Israeli airstrike has hit a street in central Gaza, killing 18 people.
Witnesses say the strike targeted a crowd receiving flour from a Palestinian police unit that had confiscated goods from looters. The unit, part of Gaza's Hamas-led Interior Ministry, was distributing aid when the attack occurred. Israel has accused Hamas of stealing aid while Gaza faces ongoing turmoil over food distribution. Armed gangs and desperate crowds have disrupted aid efforts, with tribes now stepping in to guard convoys.
That is WHIO's Will Taylor. Meanwhile, limited aid continues to trickle into Gaza, where millions struggle with hunger and violence. And last but not least, the final day of the U.S. Supreme Court term is today, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get one of the most significant rulings by today.
The court has 6 cases left, including one that will determine if federal judges can issue nationwide injunctions, rulings that temporarily stop a rule or law from taking effect, but apply it to the whole country. 3 judges issued such injunctions after the president signed an order ending birthright citizenship. The court may not issue a ruling today on it, though, since they heard arguments later in the term.
That is Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, WHIO News Time, 7:35.
Okay, Jeremy, I got a question here about the big, beautiful bear. That's what I'm calling it, the big, beautiful bear, since we got the big, beautiful bill. Okay, experts are saying, common sense things. Keep food away from outside in your backyard, right? Watch your pets and your kids. However, I've heard 2 conflicting things. Some experts say if you're confronted by a bear, walk slowly backward, kind of like from Family Guy. Walk slowly backward. However, some are saying yell and make a lot of noise. I'm not quite sure how to figure that out.
How to decipher?
Yeah, do you think it's the noise if you're far enough away from it just to kind of scare it away? But if you're right up on it, walk slowly, be quiet, don't run.
See, I wish we could interview the bear about this, but we can't get close to it, so it'd have to be a phone interview. And I'm sure the bear would have all the answers for us.
Well, we haven't asked Xavier Hershevitz from News Center 7. I think he'd be willing to interview the bear. So, But anyway, just be extra careful. Watch your kids and watch your pets, because you just never know, right? WHIO News Time, 7:36.
Nothing is more frustrating than sitting on 75 in traffic and not knowing what's going on. Your phone, not so helpful. That's why we're the home of Triple Team Traffic. Every 10 minutes, WHIO is Dayton's news and talk. Depend on it.
I'm Ron Otto with my Sports Rundown, my take on the big stories in sports. Major League Baseball All-Star Game is July 15th, and as I do every year, I fill out an All-Star ballot. The first time I filled out a ballot, it was 1987. You had to go to the ballpark to do it. You punched holes into a paper ballot. Now you can do it on the MLB app and vote 5 times a day. No wonder Shohei Ohtani gets 50 trillion votes every year. Speaking of, there are 3 players that will not get votes on my ballot. Shohei, Aaron Judge, and Juan Soto. They are great players and very deserving, but they'll get plenty of votes without my help. Instead, I like to vote for players you probably haven't heard of, like Jacob Wilson of the A's. By mid-June, the guy was hitting .367. Or the Reds' TJ Friedl, who at one point was second only to the great Shohei in the number of times getting on base from the leadoff spot in the majors. So if you do fill out a ballot, don't forget, it's your ballot. I'm Ron Otto, and that's my rundown.
What is the WHIO Storm Center? It means when you hear these tones, you are just a few minutes away from emergency weather information. Weather is our #1 priority. The Storm Center 7 forecast is always on the radio. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. And when News Center 7 is in wall-to-wall weather coverage mode, you'll always hear it simulcast on WHIO radio. That means you can take your radio to your safe spot and hear exactly what's happening with severe weather. When it comes to weather, we don't mess around.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto. June 22nd, 1963, 13-year-old Stevie Wonder releases his first single, Fingertips, which becomes the first live single to hit #1.
Everybody say yeah!
June 25th, 1876, the Sioux and Cheyenne defeat the U.S. Cavalry at the Battle of Little Bighorn, also known as Custer's Last Stand. Famous birthdays on June 26th, actor Chris O'Donnell, 1970, singer Ariana Grande, 1993, and Baseball Hall of Famer Derek Jeter, 1974.
Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop.
June 26th, 1872, the first world-famous African-American poet, Paul Laurence Dunbar, is born in Dayton. And June 28, 1846, Adolphe Sax patents the saxophone. For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto.
Together with the resources of News Center 7, you're on Dayton's #1 news team. Now, back to Miami Valley's morning news on WHIO.
Good morning, WHIO News Time 7:38. I want to say congratulations this morning to Kobe Brea, former University of Dayton basketball player, been selected in the NBA draft for the third straight season. He was the 41st draft picked by the Golden State Warriors, and he says he feels like he's dreaming right now. So congratulations, Kobe. Another Dayton great. Continues to be great on the national stage.
Yeah.
And I'm Nick Roberts. I didn't do my proper tag out there, and I'm Nick Roberts.
You were so excited about Brea being drafted.
I know. I'm Don Wayne, WHIO. The legend.
So professional.
Okay.
I'm Jeremy Ratliff. Well, Nick, a news story is trying to make fresh food more accessible to a local community and bring life back to an area that was hit by the Memorial Day tornadoes.
DG Market is set to open in Harrison Township in the fall. The store will focus on offering fresh produce and meat.
And here's WHIO's Rich Jones, updating a story we've been following for you out of Kettering. A Beaver Creek man arrested at the end of a long standoff on mini court earlier this month is now facing several charges.
40-year-old Shane Smith faces drug and gun charges and could face more. Cops say Smith is a person of interest in a missing person case, and officers found human remains at the house after Smith was arrested June 17th.
That is WHIO's Ron Otto reporting. Smith is due back in court Tuesday morning.
This is WHIO continuing news.
I checked, and Nick and I, neither one of us are on the guest list for this event, so darn it, but oh well. In Italy, love is not in the air. For some residents of Venice, as one of the world's richest men gets married.
Before the wedding bells, a less harmonious sound. The marriage of Amazon billionaire Jeff Bezos to Lauren Sanchez has brought stars like Oprah Winfrey, Tom Brady and Kim Kardashian to Venice. But it's not just A-listers. Protesters are out in force, drawing attention to over-tourism and the threat of climate-induced flooding, plus the effect of this huge event on everyday life.
That is Fox's Jonathan Savage reporting. Interesting story. WHIO News Time, 7:41.
You could bet your bottom dollar there's a very detailed prenup involved with that marriage.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, we'll see.
WHIO, coming up this weekend, I want to remind you about this. The Pleasant Hill Lights Up Festival happening tomorrow, and the Piqua Rock and Roll Car Show also happening tomorrow. Right now, let's check the most accurate and dependable forecast from News Center 7 meteorologist Britt Lee Ritz.
93 degrees this afternoon, feeling like 100. An isolated thunderstorm capable of producing some gusty winds possible, especially north of I-70. 92 Saturday afternoon, rain chances on the back half of the day, a little more likely. And Sunday, isolated chances for storms with a high of 93. Better chance for rain will be Monday, 88 degrees, and Tuesday, 84. Back to normal, still holding that chance of an isolated storm.
Latest scan of the Doppler radar is clear. 74 degrees at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Good morning to you guys there today. Good morning to Centerville. 73. It's 74 degrees at Dayton's official weather station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Expert brake repair you can trust. Make sure you can stop when you need to the most. Get a little peace of mind by making an appointment today with your trusted brake repair experts at GrismerTire.com.
Let's go check WHIO Triple Team traffic with Jake Magnotta.
Yeah, Nick, we have a little bit of an issue here coming out of downtown Dayton on northbound 75. Probably going to need about an extra 5 minutes getting through here. And just past Wagner Ford Road, had reports that the right lane's blocked due to a car that's broke down. I'm only seeing a delay back to Stanley, so not much. You don't need an alternate route for this. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
And we're talking about things to do this weekend. I want to remind you about a couple car shows. I told you about the one in Piqua, the Rock and Roll Car Show. There's also one happening here next to our radio station here at the Dayton Marriott. They're having a car show. We'll have complete details on what's involved there coming up in a few minutes. WHIO News Time 7:43.
If there's one thing about WHIO, it's that we really care about covering local news in a big way. So far this year, we've won 2 regional Edward R. Murrow News Awards, one for Best Radio Newscast. We're really proud of that one. We don't do this for awards, though. We do this to give you news that's live and local. However, getting recognition for our work is nice. We're not going to lie. Thanks for allowing us into your homes and cars. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
Every day, the amount of pollution in the air is measured on a scale called the Air Quality Index, or AQI. An air quality alert is issued for days when the forecast predicts an AQI over 100. Those with breathing problems should limit outdoor activities on days when an air quality alert is issued. For more information and actions you can take to reduce air pollution, visit MiamiValleyAir.org or call 937-223-6323.
Midway Trailers is now Rodock, company with the same great service and staff. You'll find a trailer and quality brand for every need. When you need to haul, give Rodock a call. Visit Rodock.com. That's RODOC.com.
Whatever the weather outside, stay comfortable inside with Tanner Heating and Air Conditioning, where quality and comfort matter the most. Our cost-effective systems for your home or office and planned service will save you some bucks. Bucks. That's right, Sarah bucks. That will keep your wallet happy. Tanner Heating and Air Conditioning, a reliable local family-owned company that always produces great results. This is Sarah Tanner. Call 299-2500 or go to TannerHVAC.com to schedule today. Tanner Heating and Air Conditioning, a name you can trust.
This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
When people are asked what age they want to retire, the most common answer works out to be age 59. But then at the same time, when you ask people how much money that they've saved for this retirement, they kind of shuffle and look at their feet because we've got a big disconnect. Our dream is to be able to retire really early, but the reality is we're not saving the money we need to. If your goal is to be able to not have to work, then you got to do the other part, which is save like a maniac, especially if you want to retire before age 70. You've got to save from every paycheck so that you can build that financial security that you want to have through retirement years.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO. Breaking news all morning, the Storm Center 7 forecast to start your day, and triple team traffic. Miami Valley's Morning News continues on WHIO.
Good morning. I love that song too, man. You're on top of it. How did you pick all these songs today?
I don't know. My
you just
brain
found them? Crank this one up a little bit. This one's great. Yeah. This is Miami Valley's Morning News at WHIO. Here's our top 3 things. The big 3 things you need to know this morning. President Trump wants the big, beautiful bill passed. He says he wants it done before the 4th. There's a lot of work ahead there. And a big, beautiful bear keeps being spotted, at least one, maybe more, this time in Clark and Champaign counties. It seems like that's kind of the track this bear might be taking. And our top local story, the heat wave that's gripped the Miami Valley continues today. We got a heat advisory in effect till 8 tonight. It's going to feel like 100 degrees.
My goodness.
Is relief coming? Maybe. We'll tell you about that coming up too.
Yeah, Nick, you're going to feel this temperature, just like the bear's feeling it out there, by the way. So we're in this with the bear. Every time you step outside during your workday, you're feeling this brutal heat. It's lingering here in the Miami Valley. That heat advisory in effect for the entire region until 8 tonight. This comes after some heavy rain in parts of the Miami Valley yesterday, but could we get more rain in the near future?
Rain chances through the weekend. Now through Sunday, we're talking about a quarter to a half an inch of rain, but now through Tuesday we can pick up about a half an inch to an inch of rain. Isolated higher amounts, as always, are possible under heavier thunderstorms.
Yeah, that is Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz. Stay tuned here. Of course, we're going to have the latest weather updates throughout your day right here on Dayton's severe weather station here. Now, parts of the Miami Valley, of course, hit with those downpours as strong storms moved through the area yesterday.
The Montgomery County Regional Dispatch told our news team yesterday they received several reports of flooded streets. They also confirmed flooding caused US 35 to be temporarily closed near James H. McGee Boulevard.
That is WHIO's Rich Jones. Proud car owners are rolling into Dayton so they can show off their classic cars, and that includes steps from our workplace here.
This car show is right outside Studio 7 across the parking lot at the Dayton Marriott. People are proud car owners. 160 of them are going to be at the show, and that show is free this weekend.
That is News Center 7's James Brown. And a story sure to grab attention even outside of the Empire State. It appears former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is remaining on the New York City mayor's race ballot.
Sources telling Fox News Cuomo, who resigned office over several scandals, remains a candidate, despite his stunning setback in the Democratic primary to upstart socialist Zohran Mamdani. The sources saying Cuomo will run as an independent candidate. The vote will be fractured, with incumbent Eric Adams running for re-election also as an independent, and Guardian Angels Safety Patrol founder Curtis Sliwa as a Republican.
That is Fox's Gary Baumgarten reporting for us from New York. WHIO News Time, 7:49.
All right, this is Miami Valley's morning news. The Mega Millions is up to $348 million. I think the jackpot is going to be pulled tonight, so you might want to play the lottery today. Here's the Miami Valley's most accurate and dependable forecast from News Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
Another day of 90 plus. That would make it 7 consecutive days in a row where we've hit 90 degrees or warmer if we verify today. 93 is your forecast site. It will feel like 100. We have the chance for an isolated storm capable of producing some gusty winds this afternoon, especially north of I-70. 92 tomorrow afternoon. Rain on the back half of the day. 93 degrees on Sunday. Isolated showers and thunderstorms are possible with the heat of the day. 88 on Monday being our best chance of rain as that system finally moves in here. Cools us down to 84 on Tuesday with an isolated storm.
And remember, we give you the 5-day forecast twice an hour. The latest scan of the Doppler 7 radar is clear. 74 degrees in Wapakoneta, 73 in Springboro, and 74 in downtown Dayton at Dayton's official weather station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Refresh your ride with brand new tires at unbeatable prices. Plus, buy 4 new tires and get 4 free oil changes, an additional $300 value. Make an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
Let's check WHIO triple team traffic with the man, the legend, Jake Magnotta.
The legend. All right. Maybe not quite yet, but we've got a couple issues, Nick. I want to get to this issue on 75 North first. Backup getting a little bit worse here. 75 North, just past Wagner Ford Road. At right lane's blocked due to reports of a car broke down. That right lane blocked, and we're backed up to about State Route 4. So if you want to exit at State Route 4, maybe take through main roads, you'll save a lot of time. Also, starting to slow down 35 West between North Fairfield and 675 in Beaver Creek. This is because of that construction going on. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Okay, the weather is going to be absolutely hot. We do have a heat advisory in effect till 8 p.m. tonight. It's going to feel like 100 degrees. It's going to be so hot. We're going to talk about that coming up on Miami Valley's Morning News. And we're going to tell you what you need to drink when you're hot. It's not Busch Light. I'll tell you coming up. WHIO News Time, 7:50.
I know it's scary to hear someone tell you to get in your safe spot during a storm. But aren't you glad we're here to say it? Live Storm Center 7 coverage during any weather situation. WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
Congress is considering changes that would cut more than $1 trillion from SNAP and Medicaid, threatening access to food and health care for seniors, children, veterans, and working families. These cuts would force Ohio to slash other vital services or raise taxes, while families are already struggling to put food on the table. Act now to protect SNAP and keep food and health care for our neighbors. Call your U.S. Senator today at 1-800-708-8229.
This message has been sponsored by the Ohio Association of Food Banks.
WHIO is the Miami Valley's local station. And here's what's happening at WHIO.com.
WHIO is giving you a chance to win $5,000 for Independence Day. You have the chance to win $5,000 for the 4th of July, and you can spend it on whatever you like. Register right now before July 1st for your chance to win at WHIO.com. And win a special Dayton-made gift basket. It includes items from First Florist, Esther Price Candy, Dots Pretzels, The Pine Club, and even The Evening Edge with Todd Holst. A winner is chosen the first Friday every month, so sign up right now for your chance to win at WHIO.com. I'm Sierra Lawson. Register right now for your chance to win these contests and more at WHIO.com.
WHIO.com, the Miami Valley's #1 news destination.
The Buy 5, Save 5 deals at Meijer are a great way to stock up on all your 4th of July celebration supplies. Buy 5 or more and save $5 or more when you mix or match hundreds of items, like 24 packs of select Coca-Cola and Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable. Oscar Mayer Classic Beef Franks, Kraft Shredded or Chunk Cheese, Dole Chopped or Premium Salad Kits, and Dixie Family Pack plates, bowls, or hot cups. The Buy 5, Save 5 deals at Meijer. That's the good life. A good deal better. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 866-89-BIBLE. That's 866-89-BIBLE. 866-89-BIBLE.
Area's only all-news and talk radio station. That means we're talking about what you're talking about. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
7:54. Here's what everybody's talking about: the heat. First of all, you guys notice that every small talk you make with anybody, it's the same thing. It's hot out there, isn't it? Boy,
right
it's really
to the
hot.
weather.
Boy, aren't you hot? It seems like that's only small talk. Well, guess what? I have some facts here, things you might not know how to keep cool in the hot weather. I didn't know any of these, or I didn't remember any of these. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, item number 1, spicy foods can help cool you down. It might seem counterintuitive, but spicy foods like hot peppers actually help to lower your body temperature. Did you know that?
Interesting. I did not know that.
Cooling your pulse works quickly. So get an ice pack, put it on your wrist, neck, temple. That will quickly cool down your body. As your blood circulates, it helps to cool your whole body. Okay. I did hear that one before.
I did know that, yes.
Here's one I've never heard of. Great idea. Sleeping with frozen sheets.
Okay.
For a cooler night's sleep, try putting your sheets, pillowcases, and pajamas in the freezer for a short time.
That sounds complicated.
We just throw them in the freezer.
Yeah, that's simple.
You could also fill a hot water bottle with cold water and use it between your legs. So you can do that too, trying to sleep. I think that's a good idea to put put your sheets in the freezer. I never heard of that before.
Yeah, but what happens when you take them out? Then you have to unwrap them to get into them. I mean, wouldn't they be all kind of jammed up?
I don't know. I've never done it before, so I don't know. Questions. But it might be worth it if you don't have air conditioning. Yeah. Also, did you know plants naturally cool your home? Really? They release moisture in the air through transpiration, whatever that means. It cools the air around them.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Menthol can trick your body into feeling cooler. Using products with menthol like mint-infused lotion or body wash, it triggers the cold receptors in your skin and you'll feel colder. Good one. Have you ever done that?
I know that. No.
I don't like to feel that on my skin. Here's another one. How about getting an ice bucket, right? put ice in it, and then put your feet in it. It said if you do this for like 15 minutes, you'll feel like 10 degrees cooler.
Then you got cold, wet feet, huh?
Yeah.
You just dry them off with a towel. Do you guys want to be cold or not? You guys seem like you're pushing back on all this.
Maybe we just want to be hot.
I like it. It was cold for so long. It finally got warm, and now.
You guys are like talking to my kids, trying to convince them to do something. All I get is stuff back. You complain you're hot all day. I'm trying to give you some information. And then the last thing, we talked about this on Miami Valley's Morning News. Milk is actually better to rehydrate you than water. Experts say milk, because of the fat and some of the sugars, will slow down the how the water gets into your body. It's actually better than drinking milk. Did you know that?
Yes, Larry talked about this.
Yeah, I feel like Larry mentioned it.
Do you drink milk?
Not really, no.
Well, you guys could just stay hot as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
You didn't contribute anything to this bit.
We get what we deserve.
You get what you deserve. Well, hopefully you'll find some good tips there. I think I'm going to try a couple of them tonight. This is Miami Valley's Morning News. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll revisit our top story, what to do about the weather. It's going to be hot, but there is relief on the way. We'll tell you that next. WHIO News Time 7:58.
Hi folks, it's me again, and I'm cooking in the sun just like you are. But you know, you can still plant those trees and shrubs right now, and with proper watering, still gain a full summer's growth. We keep our garden center fully stocked all summer long with thousands of good, healthy trees, shrubs, evergreens, perennials, and annuals, because we know that some folks just can't get it all done in the spring. Also, this time of year, there are lots of bargains all over our 6-acre nursery and greenhouses. We have potted rose bushes as low as $14.95, plats of annuals starting at $12.95, and hanging baskets as low as $6.95. We still have a great selection of Rose of Sharon, boxwoods, hydrangeas, and barberry. So come out to 1309 Brant Pike, and remember, we're open 7 days.
For Good News in Dayton, this is Brent Kress with Wagner Paving. Today I would like to introduce my friend and founder of HDRT, Kate Osberg.
How we doing? Roger That Racing is a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization dedicated to creating an inclusive community at and around motorcycle racing events that promotes youth programs fostering self-confidence and positive communication. We do a lot of veteran first responder outreach and give backs thanks to our partners at Moto Shippers and Trimtex. In addition, we host a healthy hospitality area at events with complimentary good-for-you snacks thanks in part to Pathway to Herbs, Wagner Paving, and Raymertz Kawasaki and KTM. Overall, our outreach encourages everyone to live with wide open gratitude at over 30 events a year across the eastern United States while helping others. Check out hdrtracing.com for more info on how we can help or how to get involved. Stay in the know by liking How We Doing Roger That Racing on Facebook and subscribing to the YouTube channel. HDRT is Good News in Dayton.
Good News in Dayton is sponsored by Grunder Landscaping, Day Air Credit Union, and Wagner Paving. For more information, visit goodnewsindayton.com.
This is the station Dayton turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. WHIO Dayton Springfield, celebrating 90 years of being Dayton's news and talk station. Depend on it.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock. I'm Nick Robertson for Larry Hanskin. This is Miami Valley's Morning News, June 27th. It's Friday, 2025. Great to have you here today. Here are the 3 big things you need to know. President Trump wants the big, beautiful bill passed, and he wants it passed before the 4th. They got a lot of work ahead on that. We got a big, beautiful bear, at least one of them in the Miami Valley. This time, Clark and Champaign counties have seen it. Some people have taken pictures of it. We'll tell you more about that. And our top local story, the heat wave gripping the Miami Valley. It continues today. Heat advisory in effect till 8 p.m. It's going to feel like 100 degrees today.
Man.
Here's WHIO's Jeremy Ratliff.
Yeah, Nick, this is the type of weather that makes you want to throw your sheets in the freezer to keep cold. This oppressive heat, it's got its brutal grip on us right now. And it's going to be warm and muggy again today. Storm Center 7 It breaks it down.
The heat advisory continues until 8 o'clock this evening because it's hot. Another day of 90 plus here in the Miami Valley, and it will feel like 100 degrees.
Yikes. But what about this weekend?
We'll have the 90s through the weekend, then finally cooling it down going into Monday and Tuesday, closing in on normalcy as we get into Tuesday with a high of 84 degrees, and it won't be as humid. Still muggy, just not as bad.
Yeah, coming up in about 13 minutes, we're going to have some important tips for you as you deal with this heat from WHIO's Benjamin Fritkiss. And, of course, you're going to want to stay tuned right here. We're going to have the latest weather updates for you throughout the day and all the way through the weekend right here on Dayton's Severe Weather Station, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
The heat wave continues on. I'm Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz. I'll let you know when we finally get some relief from this heat in the form of rain.
A car that's reportedly broke down on northbound 75 past Wagner Ford Road has traffic slow into downtown Dayton. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
It's 8:02, 2 minutes past 8 o'clock, and this is Miami Valley's Morning News.
Now, we just talked rain, or heat. Let's go ahead and talk rain now, Nick. I'm Jeremy Ratliff. The Miami Valley got its share of rain yesterday, and our team of meteorologists were tracking this as it was happening. I got a push alert in the WHIO app. Very active situation. Storm Center 7 weather specialist Nick Dunn took a look back at what happened, briefing us as some of the rainfall totals last night were quite impressive.
Miamisburg and Farmersville, at least the confirmed rain gauges that I was able to find, and a couple of you sending your reports in as well, between 2 and 3 inches of rain there, even up in Auglaize County. St. Mary's around 2.3 inches. The Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, 2 inches right on the nose, but it didn't fall evenly everywhere. Check this out. Sydney, less than a half of an inch there. El Dorado, less than a tenth of an inch. And Urbana, hard to find a drop there. Only 0.03 of an inch of rain there.
Yeah, interesting how that happens. And as far as what we're going to get today and this weekend, of course, stay tuned here for updated forecasts. In Darke County, a boil advisory is in effect for parts of the area after a water main break. You're going to want to listen closely to us if you live in this area. WHIO's Will Taylor has more.
The city of Greenville posted a photo on the city's social media page about the advisory. It said the boil advisory has been issued on Martin Street from Plum to Ohio Street, except for McMiller's. The city's water department said yesterday afternoon that service was disrupted to allow for the repair of a water line leak.
And if you don't live there, know somebody affected by this, we got information for them on what to do if they are affected at WHIO.com, so you can send your friends there. The Supreme Court meeting today to decide the final 6 cases of its term.
And that includes President Trump's bid to enforce his executive order denying birthright citizenship to U.S.-born children of parents who are in the country illegally. The justices take the bench at 10 this morning for their last public session until the start of their new term on October 6th.
That is WHIO's Benjamin Fritkiss. WHIO News Time is 8:05.
And good morning, 8:05 here on Miami Valley's Morning News. Okay, big events happening around the Miami Valley this weekend. Summer Arts Festival in Springfield tonight at Veterans Park. Heber Heights, Star Spangled Heights tomorrow. Pleasant Hill doing the Light Up the Night Festival tomorrow. Piqua has the Rock and Roll Car Show tomorrow. There's a car show here at the Dayton Marriott this weekend. And I want to give a shout out to our sister station, K99.1 FM. They're doing a Harley-Davidson of Xenia Bridges and Backroads charity ride. It all benefits Dayton Children's Hospital. Nancy and Woody from that station will be there, and also Gabby from Channel 7, too. WHIO News Time, 8:05.
Nobody likes to be told what to think. That's why we're careful to make sure our news is right down the middle. Both sides and all viewpoints. Then you decide what you think about it. Dayton's News and Talk is WHIO. Depend on it.
The bigger. Every day, the amount of pollution in the air is measured on a scale called the Air Quality Index, or AQI. An air quality alert is issued for days when the forecast predicts an AQI over 100. Those with breathing problems should limit outdoor activities on days when an air quality alert is issued. For more information and actions you can take to reduce air pollution, visit MiamiValleyAir.org or call 937-223-6323.
Midway Trailers is now Rodock. Same great family-owned company with the same great service and staff. You'll find a trailer and quality brand for every need. When you need to haul, give Rodock a call. Visit Rodock.com. That's RODOC.com.
Concerned about lead service lines supplying your home? Enting Water Conditioning can help.
Consider a whole house or drinking water filtration system from Enting and start enjoying better water for just $21.99 a month. Learn more at enting.com. ENTING.com.
The WHIO Weekend Preview with what's happening around the Miami Valley. Here's Chris Hartley.
What's up, Miami Valley? Here's what's happening. MJ the Musical's happening over at the Dayton Schuster Center. Various days and show times. The show is going to run through June 29th. Tickets on sale now. DaytonLive.org. Star Spangled Heights, that's going on over at Thomas Cloud Park. They got a parade, car show, festival, and fireworks. Fun's going to begin at 10 a.m. It's going to run through 10 p.m. Blues Fest is happening. That's over at Levitt Pavilion this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday. Show does start at 5:30 p.m. It's going to run through 9:30. Kids Fest is going on. That's over at Fray's. It's going to be on Sunday. Lots of kids activities, live entertainment, magicians, stilt walkers, and jugglers. The fun's going to begin at noon and run through 5. And movies top at the box office this weekend include How to Train Your Dragon, 28 Days Later, and ELO. With your WHIO Weekend Preview, I'm Chris Hartley.
A lot of weird stuff happens around here overnight.
Know what's going on every morning.
Miami Valley's morning news is on WHIO.
Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it. Dayton's only all-local news radio station. The power of WHIO Radio and News Center 7 means you'll know first. This is Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
Good morning, WHIO News Time 8:07. Breaking this morning, Rebecca Del Rio. If you don't know who she is, she was in the movie Mulholland Drive, David Lynch's big movie, passed away at the age of 57. No word on what happened. Wow. Yeah, she passed away. And also, don't forget tonight, $348 million bucks is what's up for the Mega Millions. And if you have good luck like Jeremy, go ahead and play it. I have bad luck. I'm not going to play it. I'm lucky I'm still here after filling in for Larry this morning. Like I said earlier, I'm still here. They haven't pulled me off the air, and the police haven't showed up, so I guess I'm having a good day.
That's positive. It's nothing but positive, sir.
Now back to the news. Here's Jeremy Ratliff.
Yeah, we're looking at 9 minutes here after 8 o'clock. New this morning, Nick, a missing adult alert for a local man has been canceled.
Xenia dispatchers told our news team that the 89-year-old man that was missing has been found. He went missing yesterday when he drove away from his residence.
That is WHIO's Rich Jones. A Dayton family now searching for answers after a father died at a house fire ruled as arson.
Enrique Mazo Baxon died June 14th due to a fire on Grove Avenue that investigators believe was set intentionally. Rachel McCormick, the mother of Mazo Baxon's 2 children, shares the people who set the fire may have been targeting her ex-boyfriend's bedroom.
That is WHIO's Sierra Lawson. The man who pleaded guilty in the death of his father in Kettering last year will learn his sentence today.
Prosecutors say Justin August shot his father Leo several times inside a home on Hague Avenue in May of 2024. Cops say the shooting came after a brief argument between the two over a car ride.
That is WHIO's Ron Otto reporting. In sports news, a Los Angeles Dodgers player close to reaching a pitching milestone.
Clayton Kershaw moved closer to history on Thursday. Kershaw struck out 5 Rockies batters in a 3-1 Dodgers victory, moving the left-hander to within 3 punch-outs of becoming the 20th big leaguer to have 3,000 strikeouts in his career. Kershaw can become the 3rd active pitcher to accomplish the feat, joining Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer.
That is Fox's Joe Morgan reporting.
This is WHIO Continuing News.
Here's a bizarre one for you this morning. It sounds like something talked about during Coast to Coast AM. Many Americans in the Southeast saw something streaking across the sky yesterday afternoon.
It wasn't a bird or a plane, but likely a meteor or space jinx of the streak of light and fireball coming from Georgia and South Carolina around 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Dashboard and doorbell cameras across those and other Southeast states caught glimpses of the fireball, which appeared to be plummeting straight down. Someone in Henry County, Georgia, reported a rock coming through their roof at about the same time that individual heard the sonic boom from the fireball. It left a hole in the ceiling about the size of a golf ball.
My goodness, imagine seeing that. That's Fox's Tom Rigotti with that report for us this morning. WHIO News Time, 8:11.
Okay, I got one more breaking news story for you this morning. So earlier we were talking about Orlando Bloom breaking up with Katy Perry. You know, that big story that happened this week. Apparently there are pictures on the Daily Mail site of Orlando Bloom around a new woman getting a little frisky.
Oh, no.
And they just broke. So I guess that could be maybe the reason why the relationship ended.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm still saying, Will Taylor, you need to know Katy Perry is available. and he's smiling and laughing, but I think he's very annoyed with me.
No, that's
by
okay.
now.
Center my name.
It's 8:11. Let's go ahead and check the latest forecast from Storm Center 7 meteorologist. I was going to say Katy Perry, but Britley Ritz.
93 degrees this afternoon, feeling like 100. An isolated thunderstorm capable of producing some gusty winds possible, especially north of I-70. 92 Saturday afternoon, rain chances on the back half of the day, a little more likely. And Sunday, isolated chances for storms with a high of 93. Better chance for rain will be Monday, 88 degrees, and Tuesday, 84. Back to normal, still holding that chance of an isolated storm.
That'll be nice. Latest scan of the Doppler radar is clear. Currently, it's 75 degrees in Huber Heights, 74 degrees in Wapakoneta, and 75 degrees at Dayton's official weather station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Expert brake repair you can trust. Make sure you can stop when you need to the most. Get a little peace of mind by making an appointment today with your trusted brake repair experts at GrismerTire.com.
Check WHIO Triple Team Traffic with Jake Magnotta.
Yeah, Nick, we don't have any accidents, but there is a bit of a slowdown north of downtown Dayton. This is due to reports of a car that's broken down. It's 75 north, a little past Wagner Ford Road. I was just listening to some scanner traffic. Actually, sounds like this car may be abandoned, so I'm not sure how long this is going to be affecting that right lane, but we are a little slow past Stanley Avenue, so not really necessary to take an alternate route, but if you want to, you can exit at State Route 48 or at State Route 4. Just use the main roads. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Okay, how would you like to go see 38 Special in Kansas at the road?
At WHIO, we listened to what you want in a news and talk station. What you said is that it's important to report the news right down the middle and then let you decide what you think about it. It's not our job to convince you to think a certain way. It's our job to report the news, give you both sides, and be fair and honest. That's a promise we've made since 1935. We're honored you've chosen us as Dayton's news and talk station. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. Depend on it.
Hey.
At Harley-Davidson of Xenia, the fun starts the moment you ride in. From our bike nights to our weekend events, we've got the rides, the gear, and the good times. Harley-Davidson of Xenia, your ride, your people, it's the place to be.
I'm Ron Otto with my Sports Rundown, my take on the big stories in sports. Major League Baseball All-Star Game is July 15th, and as I do every year, I fill out an All-Star ballot. The first time I filled out a ballot, it was 1987. You had to go to the ballpark to do it. You punched holes into a paper ballot. Now you can do it on the MLB app and vote 5 times a day. No wonder Shohei Ohtani gets 50 trillion votes every year. Speaking of, there are 3 players that will not get votes on my ballot. Shohei, Aaron Judge, and Juan Soto. They are great players and very deserving, but they'll get plenty of votes without my help. Instead, I like to vote for players you probably haven't heard of, like Jacob Wilson of the A's. By mid-June, the guy was hitting .367. Or the Reds' T.J. Friedl, who at one point was second only to the great Shohei in the number of times getting on base from the leadoff spot in the majors. So if you do fill out a ballot, don't forget, it's your ballot. I'm Ron Otto, and that's my rundown.
What is the WHIO Storm Center? It means when you hear these tones, you are just a few minutes away from emergency weather information. Weather is our #1 priority. The Storm Center 7 forecast is always on the radio. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. And when News Center 7 is in wall-to-wall weather coverage mode, you'll always hear it simulcast on WHIO radio. That means you can take your radio to your safe spot and hear exactly what's happening with severe weather. When it comes to weather, we don't mess around. Good morning, Dayton. You're waking up with the information you need to start the day. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
Good morning, 8:15. Congratulations to Brandon calling from Dayton. He was color 5, picked up tickets to see 30A Special and Kansas coming to the Rose Music Center July 3rd. The big three things you need to know today on Miami Valley's Morning News. By the way, I'm Nick Roberts, filling in for Larry Hanskin, who's on vacation. Brittany's on vacation as well. That's why they drug me in here. I am the C- team. The three big things you need to know. More black bear sightings, this time in Clark and Champaign counties. We're calling it the Big Beautiful Bear because President Trump wants the Big Beautiful Bill passed. He wants it done by the 4th, and they got a lot of work to do on that. And our top local story, the heat wave that's gripped the Miami Valley continues. We have a heat advisory in effect till 8 tonight. Not much relief either. Temperatures feeling like 100. Jeremy, what are we going to do?
Yeah, I will say thank goodness for studio air conditioning because outside once we leave, we're going to be battling with warm and muggy conditions across the Miami Valley today. And WHIO's Benjamin Fredkiss joins us with our team coverage this hour.
The heat advisory continues for all counties through tonight at 8 p.m. Drink plenty of water to stay hydrated and take breaks in air conditioning or shade when possible. And avoid walking pets during the hottest parts of the day.
Now, coming up at the bottom of the hour, Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz is going to take a deep dive on what you and your family need to do to keep safe in this hot weather. Rain hit so hard in parts of the Miami Valley yesterday afternoon that sewers could not even keep up with the flooding.
Roads flooded, cars stalled, and it was dangerous for drivers. Most of these problems were in Dayton.
That is News Center 7's James Brown. And here's one we haven't got to yet this morning. Harvard announcing layoffs at its Kennedy School of Government after President Trump cuts billions of dollars in funding.
Harvard faces the triple threat of federal funding cuts, endowment tax hikes, and the loss of international students. The White House has been coming down hard on Harvard over anti-Semitism on campus, freezing funding and eliminating the student visa program. International students form the majority of the student body at the Kennedy School.
That is Fox's Gary Baumgarten reporting. WHIO News Time, 8:19.
And big news this morning, too. A home reportedly owned by Brad Pitt ransacked by burglars. You hear about that?
Yep.
He was actually on tour, apparently, for his F1 movie, and somebody broke into his house. The only thing they published on the story is address, which maybe not the best idea, but I'm sure he has multiple homes. So
yeah, you would think so.
So anyway, okay, wish the best for him. Here's the Miami Valley's most accurate and dependable forecast from News Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
Another day of 90 plus. That would make it 7 consecutive days in a row where we've hit 90 degrees or warmer if we verify today. 93 is your forecast site. It will feel like 100. We have the chance for an isolated storm capable of producing some gusty winds this afternoon, especially north of I-70. 92 tomorrow afternoon. Rain on the back half of the day. 93 degrees on Sunday. Isolated showers and thunderstorms are possible with the heat of the day. 88 on Monday being our best chance of rain as that system finally moves in here. Cools us down to 84 on Tuesday with an isolated storm.
Latest scan of the Doppler radar is clear as we say good morning to Bell Fountain. You're at 74 degrees. Sydney's at 75, and it's 75 at Dayton's official weather station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Refresh your ride with brand new tires at unbeatable prices. Plus, buy 4 new tires and get 4 free oil changes, an additional $300 value. Make an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
Let's check WHIO Triple Team Traffic with Jake Magnotta.
Yeah, Nick, still just one issue going on. This is north of downtown Dayton for anybody about to take 75 north. Past Wagner Ford Road for some time, we've had a car broken down reportedly, and that right lane is blocked. That delay has gotten a little better. We're only past Stanley Avenue. So if you're heading this way, just give yourself a few extra minutes. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
And coming up on Miami Valley's Morning News, there's a taco shop which is absolutely incredible here in the Miami Valley. I've seen the pictures. I've heard good word about it. Well, Jeremy's going to tell you in a few minutes about an expansion they're doing. You're not going to want to miss this story. WHIO News Time, 8:20.
It takes a lot of work and people to put on a live radio station. But being in the moment with us, live and local, is something you can't get anywhere else. WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
North Dayton, North Dayton, North Dayton Garden Center.
Hi, folks, it's me again, and I'm cooking in the sun just like you are. But you know, you can still plant those trees and shrubs right now, and with proper watering, still gain a full summer's growth. We keep our garden center fully stocked all summer long with thousands of good, healthy trees, shrubs, evergreens, perennials, and annuals, because we know that some folks just can't get it all done in the spring. Also, this time of year, there are lots of bargains all over our 6-acre nursery and greenhouses. We have potted rose bushes as low as $14.95, plats of annuals starting at $12.95, and hanging baskets as low as $6.95. We still have a great selection of Rose of Sharon, boxwoods, hydrangeas, and barberry. So come out to 1309 Brant Pike, and remember, we're open 7 days.
This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
With airplane Wi-Fi, if you use a good, reliable virtual private network, VPN, you should be A-OK using airplane Wi-Fi. If you don't use a VPN, or even if you do, avoid doing any kind of banking, brokerage, looking at your retirement account, anything where a criminal obtaining your username and password could be devastating financially. So as long as you are mindful and careful that you're just doing it to look at entertainment, or you're just doing it to read news stories or whatever, then using the Wi-Fi on an airplane is fine. But if you're going to do anything sensitive, you put that guardrail in place, the protection in place with the VPN, and still maybe not go to sensitive sites.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto. June 22nd, 1963, 13-year-old Stevie Wonder releases his first single, Fingertips, which becomes the first live single to hit #1. Everybody say yeah! June 20